Hobby Quick Hits. Delivering that breaking hobby news directly to your earlobes. You want to know those hot drops from the card shop? We've got you covered. With your host, John Newman.
All right, welcome to another edition of Hobby Quick Hits. Today's episode about pricing. How do I price my cards? It's a question I get more often than I thought I would. It might come from the fact that some folks know I set up and do shows, and so they're wondering, how do I determine what to price my cards at? And people know I price cards because I did an episode about how I've always priced my stuff. When you go to shows, you see dealers, right? They really fall into one or two sides, right? Those that have prices on their cards or those that have no prices where you have to ask. Well, I'm a pricer for reasons I've said on that episode. Check it out if you want to know why. But most of the obvious reasons, right? People don't like to ask how much stuff is. But, I get asked, where do I get my pricing? And quite frankly, it's not, there's a predominant answer, but it's not the only answer. So we're going to dive into this subject here right after we hear from our great sponsors, Mojo Breaks. And after that, we're going to hear about the new releases for the week. We're going to go over the news and the question and answer, and then we'll tackle the subject of pricing.
MojoBreakShop.com is the best place to get your sealed wax products and brakes. They not only have the best selection, but the best prices. Whether it's a box or a whole case, they are your guys. They ship worldwide to your doorstep. Their reputation as one of the most trusted in the hobby goes unmatched. They are the 2021 Topps Rip Party Champion Breakers. From sports card to Pokemon cards, their selection can't be beat. They offer daily deals and pre-orders.
Hey guys, John Newman here. Mojo's prices are already great, but to save an additional 10% off anything in their store, use the code QUICKHITS. That's QUICKHITS. Check out the full-service store that's open 7 days a week in Santa Clara, California, or the website at mojobreak.com. Time for this week's incoming product releases. All right, what's coming out this week on the 15th, 2022, Onyx Vintage Collection Baseball. Same day, 2021, Panini Flawless Football. Yep, 2021. The football stuff is finally starting to catch up. Also on the 15th, 2021-22, Panini Obsidian Soccer. Staying on the same day, 2021, Panini Prism Football No Huddle. Also on the 15th, 2021-22, Topps UEFA Women's Champions League Chrome Soccer. There's a mouthful. Also on the 15th, 2021-22, Upper Deck Series 2 Hockey. Going to the 17th, Pokemon Divergent Powers 10 and Pokemon Professor Juniper Premium Tournament Collection. On the 17th, 21-22, Pro Set Power Basketball. On the 17th, Yu-Gi-Oh! Legendary Duelist 9. And that is the week in product releases. Choose your weapon. Happy ripping.
Let's go round the hobbyverse and catch up on this week's hobby news.
Two more hobby store break-ins. One in Chicago, Elite Sports Cards on the north side of Chicago had $100,000 worth of cards taken, including a Gaudy Babe Ruth, a 1950 Jackie Robinson, and a Michael Jordan rookie sticker sealed on the back of an 86, 87 Fleer basketball pack graded by PSA. That perpetrator managed to get burglar bars off the back, chisel some brick, and get in, and made a beeline right for the case that had all this stuff and cleaned that whole case out. And so it looks like that person probably scoped the store out, and the owner said as much, that he believes, he doesn't know the person's name, but he has him on video a few days earlier, who he believes is the person responsible for this. On the surveillance tape, it looks like he's also handing the backpack that he put the cards in to someone else. So probably two people involved. Also had what looked like a walkie-talkie on his hip. So probably a lookout to communicate what's going on in the outside. Inside. Doesn't stop there. Reno, Nevada, Home Team Sports. This one was even more brazen. Someone stole a van and then used that stolen van with a chain, tied it to the door/window of Home Team Sports, and then basically pulled away, pulling that door out and part of the window, then went inside and stole about $50,000 worth of sports cards. And going back to the one in Chicago, the owner is offering a reward for the capture of said perpetrator. But, you know, this is getting to be almost a daily occurrence, and it's a shame. You know, folks try to build their business only to have somebody, you know, criminal, just break it down. So hopefully those folks responsible are apprehended. You might recognize that theme song as John Cena's entry music. Well, John Cena is entering the hobby in kind of form this fall. It has not been named yet, but he's going to be the host of a collectible show where people who have unique cards, John Cena will host the show where they check those unique cards out. It is brought to you by ITV America, the same folks that brought you Pawn Stars, and filming. It will debut. It's an unnamed show, but it will make its debut this fall. You can find out information about it online, and if you think you got it, what it takes for John Cena to visit you and check out your card or / collection, contact them as they are starting production on that unnamed show. PSA has opened up their value level, the $30 20 card minimum service, to everybody. Last week it was just Collectors Club members, but now it's to the general public. All cards have to be 1996 or newer and under $1,000, and their economy service is available for $50 is the lowest level for economy. Fanatics Topps has announced they have a new agreement in place for collegiate trading cards, which will encompass over 150 universities or colleges, and includes over 200 men and women of college athletes. So going to get more Bowman University products, probably with that first Bowman logo on it. You know, again, the debate of what will be a real rookie will continue. And also, the interesting thing to me is they're going to be able to do Topps Now cards, you know, those instant print when the record gets broken or something of significance happens. But now they can do this on the collegiate level, and that will be real interesting. So if a Topps Now card is the first produced card of that athlete and they go on to become, a superstar, Hall of Famer in their respective sport, we might be looking at, especially if it's a lower print run Topps Now. Obviously, they print to demand of how many people order, but just opens up the door for a lot of different things. Not good news, if you ask me, for Panini, because this is one of the things they could still hang their hat on. And, now, one thing I want to say about this deal is it's not all exclusive. So the other companies can produce cards as well, but I believe they will have some exclusive athletes. Who is not announced yet, but they will apparently have some. So it's going to be interesting to see what products come out of it, how, Fanatics / Topps handles it and uses this new licensing agreement along with the other ones as well. All right, let's end the news segment on a happy note. 13-year-old Johnny Stone from Ohio him and his dad pre-ordered some Prism football boxes. Obviously, they were delayed, but finally got them. Well, it was worth the wait for the Stone family as they pulled, or Johnny pulled, a 1/1 black finite Mac Jones rookie. They do operate a sports card company out of their house called Stone Sports Cards. They quickly sold the Mac Jones 1/1 for $100,000. And that buyer sold it after that to the next guy or person for $175K. So that card has been flipped or sold twice, if you will. Once for $100K and again for $175. The Stone family said they will be using that money. Well, Johnny's going to get a new gaming computer, and they're going to be attending the National in Atlantic City. So maybe we'll try to catch up with them and talk to them about their incredible pull that turned into a big sale for them.
Time for the segment where you ask me a question and I answer it here on the podcast.
All right, another question from our website, which is very cool. Glad to see that getting some more activity. This is from Will. And Will basically asked me, hey, like Breaking Cardboard, your live show you did once a month, but you haven't been doing it. What's the status of the show? Well, I haven't done it in a couple months, I think 3 months, and maybe 4. I just got real busy, and it was hard to commit and get guests, and just, with the other show that I do, which is Live Hobby Hotline, it just become, a little bit hard to do. So is it over? I won't say it's over. I still, if I get the right, it's a co-host show. If I get a co-host and guest or guests, it's not dead, but it's not going to be what I first envisioned it, which was once a month. I think it'll just be like a special edition that I'll announce when I have sort of a panel that goes after a certain topic. So we'll kind of make it a special panel show when we do it, and rather than be once a month, it'll just be when I can schedule it. So it's not dead, but it's not going to be once a month like I was hoping either.
And now, our feature presentation.
All right, let's talk about pricing. Again, it's a question I get asked. Where do you come up with your prices? How do you determine, what to price your cards at? And again, it's going to be a multiple answer type question. Let me go back in history, as I often tend to do, because I've been doing this a while. So one of the earlier, it was sort of a regional price guide. I cannot find any information on it. When I Google this, I remember using a paperback publication in the probably early '80s, mid '80s, called I think it was called SCP. I don't Standard Card Pricing. I think it stood for. I'm not even sure. That's sort of a guess to my memory. Again, it was not a big publication. About 20 to 40 pages, and they listed. From the 40s to the 80s, all the stars and the prices, and then they gave what common should go for. It would come out every month, and I'd go to the card store. I don't even know if I bought it every month, but I got it every so often just to see what they said the cards are worth. And then we all know what came along, right? The Bible, I called it, of pricing, right? Dr. James Beckett created his price guide, starting with baseball, and I think 84 was the number one issue. Now, I don't remember being that early on it, but probably about 85 for me. That was when I started paying attention to that guide, and then obviously that empire grew, and that became the Bible, if you will. I hate to use a religious book, but it really was the gold standard of pricing. Everyone had a Beckett magazine, right? Dealers had them at the shows. Some collectors had it, kind of rolled up in their back pocket just to kind of check, what the book said and what a dealer was trying to get for their card. And that's really what I use, and we all wanted to see that pointing up black triangle, right? That was, as dealers and even as collectors, right? We wanted our stuff to go up. We didn't want to see that downward pointing triangle. That meant our stuff was going down, and it became the number one used price guide. When I had my store from 92 to 97, I sold them all. I was, with Beckett as far as a dealer. We'd get our shipments each week of each sport Beckett price guide and put them on our stands, and customers would come in and buy it. We'd obviously take our store copy and look through. First thing we did, right? Look through it. What went up, or we'd even debate, right? What did it go up enough? Oh man, it should have went up higher than that, right? We all had those conversations. Or I thought it was going to rise more than that. Or why did this go up? And those were always fun times. And for a long time, that was the standard, right? And then eBay came along, and but not in its infancy stages. They had to build up a reputation, and I think they became sort of the market standard, if you will. eBay kind of sold comps, and as they kind of cleaned up their act and their platform where you could get more information, I think they sort of became where we got our prices from as well. So, obviously we have a lot of charts and analytics here in 2022. And so I'm going to answer the question, how do you price your stuff? I'm going to answer for me. Now, this is only the tools and platforms that I use today, okay? It doesn't mean that it's the only answer. It's just my answer, right? I'll try to put it in sort of an order, if you will. I think eBay comps for me is probably, eBay sold listings is probably the first place I look to get sort of what this card may be worth. I do use Card Ladder. I do use Collects now. It's an app where you scan your card. That's in the mix, and that's pretty much what I use. Now, there's some cards, we all know these cards, right? And it's good if you have them, because it usually means it's rare or not, obviously, a common card, right? Pop one cards or card where there's no, comps to compare it to. And, I get asked, well, what do you do in that if you don't have anything really to compare it to. You know, you just try to find another similar type player and that kind of card and sort of get a comp, of a sold listing. The grading has changed sort of, comps too. We got, a raw card and a graded card are most likely going to bring different values, and so that qualifies it even more. But if you have one of those like Pop One or not a lot of comps, sometimes you gotta just wing it, right? I've priced stuff where there's not a ton of comps, and you just price it what you kind of want to sell it for. A lot of factors go into that. What do I have into this? Did I buy it? What did I pay? How the player's performance, if they're still a current player, how bad you want to sell something really goes into how you price stuff. I'm not going to come on and turn this mic on and be disingenuous. That's not what I'm known for. I'm not going to start now. I'll be honest with you. I've priced some of those kind of cards maybe a little higher because, quite frankly, I know I'll miss them a little bit if they sell. So I price them sort of high. Remember, if you're pricing your stuff as a dealer or as a seller, whether that be online or in person at a show, it's easier to come down in price than you can't go up, right? If you mark something $20, just for example, you can't ask the person, hey, pay $25 for that, right? But if you mark something, $20, we'll keep it the same price. You can, someone can offer you 15, and if you deem like, hey, I'll take the 15, you can make the sale. So I sort of price. I'm giving away, I don't want to say a secret, but a little bit of sort of my MO. Not probably across the board, but there are certain cards where I'll price it a little bit higher, knowing that I'm going to the cards are probably going to be bargained for a lower price tag. So I kind of bake that in there. Again, not on every card. I do price all my cards. Now, I will say every once in a while, I'll miss one. Maybe it's something I just acquired in a collection, and in the haste to get it out in the cases or in the show inventory, I'll forget to price it with my pricing gun. There are, not common, but there are a couple exceptions where it'll be a card that I purposely won't price. It's one of those big-time fluctuating, probably an expensive card, right? I'll have to wait till someone says, hey, what are you looking to get on that? So I'd say I'd price 98% of my cards. So for every 100 cards that are either in my showcase or in my boxes that people rife through, 98 out of 100 are going to have a full set price tag on them. And then there's the rare cards where and it'll be in my showcase, where I just leave it sort of blank for someone to kind of negotiate or talk about. It might be even a card that just is so volatile, right? Whether it's going up or down or both potentially based on performance. I'll sort of leave it blank, leave it unpriced, so I'm not just pricing it every week or 2 weeks, that thing. But most of my stuff's priced. Again, eBay is probably my eBay sold comps is probably my go-to. Card Ladder's another tool I use. CollectX, and sometimes, honestly, if I have some cards, and if you're around cards enough, and I think some folks that are sellers and dealers out there, when they hear this, are going to be nodding their heads, right? Sometimes you just do this long enough, or you just pricing enough, you just kind of know where stuff's at without having to look it up, and you can just price it off the top of your head, so to speak, right? I mean, frankly, the only time I actually look is when a card I'm not sure about or I don't want to wing it. So there are a lot of times I wing it just because I know I'm in the ballpark. I'm not going to be way off, and the cards where I'm like, I'm not really sure what this is doing right now, one way or the other, then I might look it up. And, when it comes to pricing cards, right, it's all arbitrary, right? They're your cards. You can price, your Juan Uribe 1990 Fleer for, $800,000 if you want to. Good luck getting it in a legitimate non-money laundering sort of way. It's a joke there. But, again, you can price your stuff any way you want. And again, like I said, I'm guilty as charged. There are some things I'm a little attached to, but I do want to sell, and I'll just put it out there with maybe a higher sticker on there. And, knowing I'm probably going to be asked to take less, and just part of me doesn't really want to sell it. I used to be worse when I was younger with getting attached to cars than I am in my in my 40s and 50s. So, when it comes to pricing, there's really no one set answer. I know eBay comps is kind of the market standard for most, but it's not the end all be all. It doesn't have to be. You can use other tools if you so choose. So I hope this episode kind of clarified a little bit on pricing. Again, there are also other pricing tools and analytics that I didn't mention because, quite frankly, I don't have any experience or use of them. We all know kind of what they are and who they are. You can, go out there and choose your weapon, as they say, when it comes to pricing. So we're going to give out some social media credentials, and after that, I'll come back with some closing thoughts. All right. Thank you for listening to another episode of Hobby Quick Hits. Want to give out our social media, starting with our website, which is www.sportscardnationpodcast.com. Facebook, you can follow us at www.facebook.com/SportsCardNationPodcast/. Twitter, we are at SportsCardNati1, so it's SportsCard NATI1. Instagram, at SportsCardNationPodcast, or you can email the show, hobbyquickhits@gmail.com. Again, thanks for listening. We'll see you next week. All right. Thanks, everybody, for listening in. We are, if you're listening to this on Monday release day, we are about 42 days out from the National. Going to talk about pricing. Going to see all those phones out, lit up, comping on their phones on the dealer side of the table and the customer side of the table. But I hope you enjoyed this episode, and we'll be back Friday with another Sports Card Nation with guests, and we'll be back here a week from today, show release day, with another episode of Hobby Quick Hits. So with that being said, I bid you adieu, wish you well, take care, see you soon.